All right, it's Monday. Time to go over the question that a lot of people are asking, which is the US actions in Venezuela, is that going to affect Canadian oil? And is this a big loss for Canadian oil? I'm going to answer that in a very simple way. Companies always want profit. That is what they do. Oil companies, especially, will only drill and only do what's profitable for them. They're going to base their actions on the bottom line. When it comes to Venezuela, many oil companies have learned a lesson from Chevron. Chevron invested large amounts of capital in Venezuela and lost it all because it's not a profitable place to drill. It's very heavy crude, which is very expensive to refine. Profit margins are very small on that. In fact, the only reason why Chevron is still in Venezuela and has operated in Venezuela, even when the US had sanctions on Venezuela, was because they had an agreement where you can start paying back your debt to us with barrels of oil. That's the only reason why they were there. Also, US oil companies have spent large amounts of money in Canadian oil infrastructure. So why would they affect their bottom line by going down south and drilling in a place that has already been proven to be not profitable and affect global markets that way and make their bottom line worse, like what happened to Chevron? It doesn't make any sense. In fact, most oil companies already have said no. In fact, from what I've read, almost every oil company except Chevron has said no to taking over what's going on down in Venezuela. And Chevron is going to continue operating there because of their losses they're trying to recoup. That's basically the story. So the answer is no, this is not going to affect Canadian oil. US oil companies are already making lots of money with Canadian oil. They're not going to stop that and start losing money trying to go work in Venezuela. It doesn't make sense.